All right, good morning, everyone. Bobby Gray here, joining you from paradise, inside of the Hilton Hotel Hua Hin in beautiful nearby Thailand, with some annoying music. Is that your music playing? Joining you from the hotel breakfast lobby area, where I'm sure we'll see way too many guests and visitors come and say hello to us. Incidentally, I have not had breakfast. Can you get them to kill that music, please? I have not had breakfast yet today. So if you're in the Hilton Hotel Hua Hin and planning on stopping by to say hello and good morning to me and our friends on screen, bring a snack. Uh, Muffins, banana bread, fresh fruit, any of those things will do just fine. I don't know if you guys can hear me okay. I've got some background noise here, but I'm going to try to kill that real quick and see if we can move on with our day. Anyway, we are here in in Hua Hin, Thailand, having the time of our lives. We're fishing, we're catamaraning, we're island hopping, we are cooking, classing. We're having a lot of fun. And of course, this is what we call a Freedom Field Trip. Not a name I came up with, but somebody that made my favorite song coined that one. And I would love to find out who made that song so I can give all the credit where it's due. Can we hear me okay? Is there a hand up to indicate that I'm actually saying words? They're coming out in the right order?
I hear you.
Yes. Hi, Kristen. Can you
Hey.
believe that the Roo has turned me down twice for promoting? Okay, thank you. Lots of hands there. Thank you. I've tried to promote Robbie Roo to panelist, and he said no twice.
Twice.
Some friend.
Some
So
friend.
anyway, that's where we are. I might have to move out to sit all alone by the beach as there's Kira, as people come and say hello. Or this place gets loud with the excitement that is breakfast. But between now and then, I'm here, you're here, 418 of us are here, so let's begin. Okay, it's been another record-breaking week for us. We've got a lot to talk about. I've written a couple articles in the last few days, shared a couple articles in the last few days. Hopefully you've had a chance to read them. So I'm going to talk about those as well. But between now and then, I would like to check in with our team. As always, this get together of ours on Tuesday is, Ron Parr is on the call with a hand up. Are you iPhone, Ron Parr? Is that what you are? I'm going to promote panelists. There's McKaylin. Who's Jen? Do we know Jen? Jen has her hand up. Ron's promoted.
Thank you.
There's McKaylin. There's Ron Parr. Hi, everyone. Good morning or good evening, as the case may be. So the purpose of this call is to be slightly less goofy than the Thursday night call has been accused of from time to time. But this call is our opportunity to connect and your window into our boardroom or our factory floor or your opportunity to hear it, not from just me anymore, but the people that I've selected to compensate with our money to come in and help me manage this thing. And so, as I've told you guys from day one, our project is going to be successful. And part of the reason that it's expected to turn out exactly as planned is because I've got great people like you to watch my back and to hold me accountable. And accountability is a big thing. It's what prevents things like this from going from, oh, wow, it's great and we're doing so well, to we're in bankruptcy court and we just never saw it coming. How did that happen? How is it possible? Well, first of all, we make good decisions. Second of all, we bring in good people. Third of all, we hold each other accountable to do a good job and call them out when they're not. We've had to get rid of 2 people in this past week because I believed or they believed or someone believed that they were not performing up to the expectations that are required of our team. So having said that, where's the Roo, man? What happened to Rob?
He just texted me and told me to tell you that you didn't ask to bring him on the panel. He said,
yeah, he's in the questions that it never come through to him.
I've clicked on promote to panelist 3 times now. Robbie will be rejoining the webinar as a panelist. But here's the thing. I think I've made all you guys co-hosts. You guys all have your own corporate expensive Zoom accounts now. There he is. He's added the rocket ship.
I made it.
His Photoshop skills are really second to none. Second to none over there.
You see my bald spot with the sun?
Oh, yeah, it's coming in almost as good as my mustache, isn't it? Okay, so without babbling on much longer, let's start. Who's going first? Give us the 1 to 2 minute update on your world. Any volunteers?
I'll jump in since I'm getting started. So
Okay, welcome. You look really
good
clean
morning,
cut
sir.
today. Did you shower or shave or clean up or something?
I did. Look, I'm like all tidy. Got my hair dyed the other day. I try to get into my 40s, even though I'm in my 50s. So it's
It's a good
a
look. We're all
challenging
looking 10
process.
years younger. Money
Yes.
makes the aging clock go backwards. It's wonderful.
Yes.
Bring it on.
Yes.
All
So,
right, so tell us the story. What's going on over there?
as everyone's aware, we had an amazing week last week, right? So almost 10 million in revenue, 4.17 million in commissions, and recently have passed 30,000 miners. So that is wonderful news. And super excited to see a lot of the new articles
give
that
my
you've been
update?
pushing out.
I feel like you're like interrupting my update.
Were you talking?
No, you're giving part of my update.
Well, okay. Well, then I will step back and let you do your
Just
thing, girl.
messing. I'm just messing.
Oh, go for it.
No, you got it. I'm just messing with you.
Got it.
I'm just messing with you. You got it.
We
Continue.
totally rehearsed today's call. Today's call is the most rehearsed, well executed call we've ever had. But please continue.
Go ahead, McKaylin. You obviously wanted to jump in. I defer to you.
Okay, so yes, just like Rob said, we almost hit 10 million last week, which is literally insane. I remember whenever we were making like $100 a week. No, I'm kidding, but it was like, $3,000 a week. Now we're almost at $10 million a week. That's insane. But also, my big update is we have a new system, which most of you have probably seen in your dashboard. When you log in, there's a little bitty button on the far right in your dashboard. And if you click on it, you can actually create a ticket based on your issue, based on your commission issue, your placement issue, anything like that. And then you can also select the team that you're on. So that way the email goes directly to your team and it's not going to me and Landon and a bunch of other teams. It's just going directly to that team. So we're shifting away from help desk and we're on Zendesk now. So if you have any request or need to send an email, you now need to use the thing that's in your back office that pops up on the bottom right to submit an email. It's going to ask for your email. It's going to ask for the subject that you're talking about. And then you can upload any pictures that you might have of your placement request or the issue that you might be having. But that is now live. So we're trying to push completely away from help desk. Don't think that your questions aren't going to get answered because you've sent a email into help desk. That's not the case. But it's going to take us a little bit to try to get through those and then also get through the Zendesk ones. But now that I'm making this announcement, I expect all of you to know that we're now using Zendesk. So don't send an email tomorrow to help desk whenever you should be creating a ticket in Zendesk in your back office. But yeah, so your emails are going to get answered that are in help desk. We're going to try our best to catch up on those before we completely shut it off. But the time is coming where help desk is going to be completely shut down.
Very bossy now. Has she always been this bossy? Or have we created a monster?
I mean, just running all over it, just going.
It's leadership. We need the leadership. Whether it's your enrollment department or you're spending the dollars in the promo department or you're running the mine, we got to lead the way, McKaylin, and I like it.
And
Now,
there's a
Michaela-
tag for TXC purchases. So I know that's a big issue that you purchase TXC in your back office and you don't get it. There's a specific tag that you can tag. So that way you're not sending it to help and then 2 weeks later you're wondering where your TXC is. It's a specific ticket that we will specifically watch that group whenever you select a TXC purchase problem. So yeah, that's my update.
So the summary is that we're moving away from an email-based trouble ticket system and moving into a form submitted trouble ticket system. And one of the reasons for that is because when you guys have a request, you're like, well, I'm not really sure who this is for, so I'll send it to every department. And then not only do we have like 5 times the potential workload, but we've got 5 different people working on the same problem at the same time. All are doing it. Then somebody looks at it and they go, well, this problem's already been taken care of. I don't understand why it's still here. Is who didn't mark it as
Right.
well? It's a duplicate request. So now if you want to make a duplicate request, you can. You just have to do more work. It's not easy for you to make our lives more difficult.
And it's more accessible. Like it's now in your, if you're looking at your dashboard and you have an issue, all you have to do is click that button and submit a ticket rather than getting out of it, going into your email, sending a separate email. It's right there for you to send. So don't say, I don't see it, because it's there. Thank you, everyone.
Very good. Hey, Bobby, I'd like to brag on McKaylin. She's being a machine over there. We've got a customer service machine happening next door.
What do you think it is? Do
so-
you think it's the office space? Do you think it's the car? Do you think it's the comp plan package? Do you think it's how close she got to her latest bonus and yet missed it by
I'm
a
gonna be
hair?
honest with you. Yeah, we almost hit 10 million, but I didn't even realize that until like Sunday. Like we don't sit there and like watch numbers anymore because we have so much to do. And then I get reminded by you and I'm like, yeah, we almost hit it, but we didn't. So
Well, you
we
know
have
we will
this
sooner or
week.
later.
We have this week.
You know, it's for me, it's fun to watch the initial sales for the new week get automatically entered through the hash power commission BOGO upgrades. And it's like, man, we did 1.7 million this week, and it's like 1 second into the new week. And that's just people coming back and saying, hey, I'd like to take my commission in additional seats. The long game, as we call it. And what that means is that every week gets bigger and bigger and bigger through this snowball effect where people are working hard, they're bringing on people, the sales numbers are good, but they're earning commissions, they're taking those commissions and hash power upgrades. And so it just adds fuel to the next week's fire instantaneously, which gets us off to a wonderful start and continues to drive those numbers north. So the bigger numbers are coming. You know, imagine what it's like to hit 10 million in a week, and then fast forward, what, 2 months, 3 months, where we're doing 100 million in a week. And then that last week when we do $200 million in a single week, and we go, whoa. And the big question, of course, on everyone's mind is Bobby really going to shut it down? He's going to be making $10-50 million a day, and he's going to turn it off? No way. Time will tell. Time will tell. McKaylin, thanks for the update. Feel free to stick around.
One more
Great
thing.
job. Yeah.
About enrollment. So there's been a couple of emails of people saying that you said, he said, she said, which we had this wonderful promotion in August where anybody could upgrade to a 9-pack and get the 2 additional centers. That was the August promotion. That was the whole reason of having the August promotion. But some people think that you've stated on a Zoom call that anybody can do that now.
We've decided to make the August promotion a permanent fixture. That is in fact true. So hide your kids, hide your wives. The August promo is sticking around.
If you don't see me tomorrow, you know why.
So August promo persists. And look,
Forever and ever.
well, for probably as long as this thing's going to be around. Here's
Okay.
here's the mentality behind it. You know, when I first started this thing, of course, I've got no background whatsoever in network marketing and comp plan design. So I designed something that I thought was fair, reasonable, and going to work well for everybody. You know, the network marketing folks and the guys that hate network marketing would never be caught dead in network marketing. And I think to a great extent, what I designed was in fact great. And so now here we are 78 weeks into this thing, looking at it and saying, okay, the comp plan didn't die. It didn't underpay. It didn't overpay. It was designed to pay about this much, and it's done about that much. But there's some excess. And it has done a pretty good job of weeding out, the difference between builders and abusers. It's done a good job of, finding the differentiation between people that are here as passive, miners and the guys that are working to help us build and grow. And so now that we've got all this data from 77 plus weeks of experience, I'm able to go back and make little tweaks that I don't have to regret later. If everyone yelled and screamed on week 3 and they said, change it to 18 left, 18 right, it would have killed us. If if we did this back then, it might have been extremely detrimental. But where we are today, I can look at it and say, yeah, it has a very small impact on allowing people to add those tracking centers because they've got more work to do. And even if they put them at the top and start getting automatic volume from their existing tracking center results, it's good for them and it encourages them to go out and continue working hard. Here's the deal though. It's not automatic. Okay, I'm not going through and spending development time trying to figure out how to code the system so that if you end up buying that 9th seat, that 9th paid seat, remember, it's paid seats. So if you come in and you buy, let's say 3, and then you get a 1, 2 free and a 1, 2 free and a 1, 2 free and a BOGO, and you're like, hey, I'm at 10 seats so far. Where's my other tracking center? It's 9 paid new, fresh tracking center, or not tracking centers, but seats. Right. So it's not automatic. So if you reach that point where you look at your sales and you say, I have now officially bought all 9, send a message in through the wonderful form that we've got and ask to have those additional tracking centers added, and we will add them for you. But again, it's not automatic, and please don't expect it to be automatic because we've got a lot of work for the development team to do things that are going to help us get into the next deal. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. So we need to keep them focused on the urgent things. But if you'd like to join us and get the benefit of the builder pack, you can. It is now a permanent fixture, but you got to ask for it. Rumors true.
Congrats,
Bobby,
McKaylin.
hey, I was going to say, Bobby, we're also seeing now more people that have been sitting on the sidelines as passive, and they're realizing how easy it is to start sharing this. And they're like, wow, I've maxed out my 1 center. So now they're like, hey, can we get those extra tracking centers? We're ready to go to work, right?
Yeah.
And so I think by making this a permanent fix, I think that's perfect because again, sometimes it takes longer for people for it to click, they feel comfortable. And this is a way now that whether it clicks for you in the first day or it clicks for you in 3 months, you have the opportunity that you can become a builder and start at any time you would like to.
Yeah. And that, a lot of times we make these decisions and we go, hey, that was really smart. We don't really initially know why we make these decisions. It's just a gut feel. But exactly like Tim said, it's about people realizing that we've got a good thing and that they are successful at it, even though they thought maybe they never would be. And so they go, oh, well, that sucks. I missed my window of opportunity. And we said, no. If you've reached this conclusion and you want to join us, then let's go, man. We don't want to hold anybody back. For a very long time, we've heard from people in the beginning that there's not a lot of meat on the bone. And I can only max out at 3,000 a week. And we go, yeah, it's not really designed for the guys at the top to make all the money and the guys at the bottom to not get anything. Now that we fully know, I mean, we've heard the feedback, we've collected, lots of opinions, but now that we know that we've got something that works for everyone, then we can circle back around and figure out ways to put more meat on the bone for the guys that are doing more than other people are. And that's how it should be anywhere. You do the most work, you get the most reward. And so we want our system to be that. But the worst thing in a deal like this is changing a comp plan and going, ooh, we messed it up. And now we've got to make this disastrous universal change that's going to affect everybody. And so to avoid that, we take our time, evaluate results, and then make changes. A couple changes. 1, giving people the ability to add those extra tracking centers. 2, we started the SuperNova bonus. And the SuperNova bonus a couple of weeks ago was just an idea. And it was $1,000. Now a SuperNova bonus has been coded into the system as a $3,000 bonus. And I've fixed the language on the help desk websites to take SuperNova out of the name of the comp plan so there's less confusion. The next step now, which I'll do today from a massage chair, is to write exactly what you have to do to get the SuperNova bonus so that that's cleared up as well. But that's an extra $3,000 bonus. We've got people now that are maxing out 3 tracking centers and hitting SuperNova on 1 or 2 of those tracking centers. I don't know if anyone's 3 for 3 on it yet. I'll have to ask her out, but that's pretty cool. That means not only have you done what's required to help us build and grow, but you've taught people on your team to do what's required to help us build and grow. And when that happens, man, that is how this thing is exploding, and we're seeing these wonderful numbers. So we're here to make sure that the people that are doing the most to help us build and grow are getting the most out of this. That's only fair. And I think we've developed an extremely fair system that's held up and stood the test of time. So SuperNova bonus is now semi-stuck at $3,000 a week. And also the rumor is true that you can upgrade now to the builder plan and get those extra spots, but you got to request them. Kristen, you want to tell us what's happening at the Balloon Festival?
Hi. How are
What
you?
happened? How did it go?
It went really, really good. Had no hiccups, nothing. Everything went really smooth, which with me, normally something always happens. I was like in check, I'm like, something at any moment could go wrong. But I had so many people volunteer and help, miners and rangers. Robbie came and helped. Yeah, it was really good. I got to ride on it for the first flight. That was kind of nerve-wracking, but it was a lot of fun. Me, Cass, and Hayden went up. We ended up landing in someone's front yard, which was interesting, and they got a video of it, so we got our hands on that. They were very nice and kind that happened. But yeah, everything went really, really well, so we were really excited about that.
Hey guys, remember please to follow us on socials. The two major accounts right now that are really important to us are Instagram and X. Remember that Twitter is what the exchanges use to evaluate the size of our community. And so we're hearing from a lot of people that it's getting increasingly difficult to keep up with the chatter on Telegram group. And that's true. There's a lot of stuff in there every day. And so we're, I think, doing a much better job now getting good information shared over to the socials for public distribution. But by following us there, you know, the algorithms will do their part in making sure that the more important information is getting pushed to the front of your profile. It also gives you the opportunity to easily retweet or re-X or whatever it's called these days, information that comes out, which helps us all. So please jump in, follow us, especially on X, Twitter, whatever it's called, and on Instagram, because those are definitely the most active places right now, and the places that the big exchanges are looking at to determine whether or not it's time to bring us into the top of the group. Is that you?
No, it was
Oh.
mine. My
You?
phone's connected to my computer. It's Telegram.
It was everybody. So anyway, continue. Sorry for my interruption.
You're fine. Dart got a hold of us and wants to wrap all their buses and trains with Texit all over it. So that's interesting. I have a meeting with them tomorrow.
What's that going to cost?
I don't know. That's what we'll find out. So we'll see. So last week, IndyCar driver Alexander Kariba, as I talked to y'all, he had come with us. Now I have NASCAR Xfinity coming to us, wanting to get a car wrapped with the driver Garrett Smithley. So J.R. Smith, who is one of our miners, he got me in contact with him. So we had a meeting today. So he's going to be sending me the numbers today, and I'm going to look over that tomorrow. Last week, I hadn't said anything because I had a meeting the following day. There is a celebrity golf and polo tournament that is in Phoenix, Arizona. It's for the $1 Million Mingle, which is a huge benefit and charity event. And it is hosted by the pro ex-football player AC Caswell. So he played for the Raiders. Anyways, he wanted us to be the main sponsor for that. I'm getting more information with that. Coach Bud is actually involved in that one as well. So let's see. I had Nick Trax come to me today about Austin City Limits Fest, which if y'all know what that is, it's one of the biggest music fests in the world. People come all over the world to go. There's about 500,000 people that show up over the first weekend and second weekend. And so I'm thinking about putting us in on all the digital boards and stuff around the entire fest. So there's a lot more into that with radio stuff. There's a bunch of different options for sponsorships. So I've been looking at that. I have a meeting with the Dallas Mavericks on Thursday, which I'm super excited about. So I'll have more details for that next Tuesday. And that's it that I have so far for this week. So, oh, I do
Excellent
have one more
update.
thing.
Go on.
Do have one thing. If anybody in the miners, or I don't know if Rangers are in this call, but any of our tents, our banners, any of our brand marketing stuff, if y'all have any of that, could y'all please reach out to Kristen at blockchainmint.com. I'm trying to find out where all of our branding material kits are. So we give them out and then they aren't returned. So me and Robbie were talking about it today. And if y'all could just reach out to me, that would be awesome to let me know what you guys have so I can make my inventory list. I would really appreciate it. And that's all.
Got it. Thank you. Wonderful update. Hey, Ron, what's happening over there in Mineville town? You got a second to share some news with us? Because I don't know if you remember this, but we're building a mine.
Oh,
So,
we're in the middle of it. We
From time
remember
to
it
time, we
totally.
should probably get an update on what's happening with building the mine. Tell us the story, Ron.
Hey, it's been intense and exciting and fun and all of the above. It's we were able to install the B24, as you know, in Mansfield. That's ready to go. We disconnected it, waiting for the power conditioner to get there. So the power conditioner has arrived. This coming week, we will be installing that, also starting the mine. And it also happens that the new sled or the interior container is also arriving in Mansfield on Tuesday. We're bringing the crane company in to get that rigged, get that into position. The dry cooler will be out and back on the pad. So we'll install that, or we'll have the crane company place it, but we have to get down to Victoria to get that moving, because the electrician should have that taken care of this coming week, and we've got to get the miners in and ready to go. So we're just going to see a barrage, hit the mining system really quickly.
Okay, so we jumped around there real quick. Let's go back. So Victoria is number one, still not turned on, but we're, I think, on standby now from Victoria Electric to
Exactly right.
cross connect that. Is there anything else for Victoria? And I know Fast Eddie's leading the way on that project, but is there anything else on Victoria that we're waiting for besides the power company doing their thing?
Really, there's not. It's just logistics, getting all the miners down there. I'm headed down to help Eddie, and we'll get those loaded into the systems and the oil into the units and get that started as soon as we have electric.
Got it. And then, so we're thinking that Mansfield is going to be number 2 to come online?
Well, it may be that we can get the B24 online first and quickly. Yeah. And I expect that that's going to be the case. So as soon as the power conditioner, as soon as it's in Mansfield, it's ready to be connected by the electrician right now.
I don't remember how many power conditioners we bought. Was it 2 or was it 3?
I think you had 3 come.
Okay. Have we checked the voltage in Mansfield? Is it better than the voltage we've got in McKinney?
We were running a little hot.
Okay.
So I think 487 is about what it was.
My understanding is we've blown up 24 L9s now at McKinney with our whatever the issue is there.
Actually, I think you'll be happy to hear those units. That's from the beginning of the installation, but they were the power supplies that had the problems. So the miners themselves are still in good shape. Eddie was able to put together an option for us to get in some separate power supplies at a really good price. We can replace all the power supplies that went bad for less than the cost of one miner. And those miners should all still be good for us.
Okay. All right. So Mansfield is number 2, and then numbers 3 and/or 4, is that Houston?
Okay. Number 3 and/or 4, we have Houston all teed up and ready to go. And
you're just waiting on me to sign a lease and power is there. We're good.
Yep, everything is in place. We've even subleased the property. So
I saw that.
The sublease is all ready to go. They're just waiting on us. I was messaging with the real estate agent last night at 1:50 a.m. They're eagerly anticipating that. So as
Okay.
soon as we get that, we can get that container into place, and we'll immediately be able to move the container there, get that started, and get Mansfield started. But I really appreciate your help on Houston.
I'm on it today. I saw that chatter, and you know, look, I'm excited about the mine. We're making progress. Sometimes it feels like it's slow going. Sometimes magical things happen. At the core of our project, we're building a mine, and so, you know, we have yet to get to the point where we've done one officially and successfully from the beginning. So whether it's Victoria or Mansfield with the B24, or swapping out the B24 to the B48 in McKinney, like, I'm really excited to get that first one, that first switch flipped, powered up, and see the chart on the website go, okay, we're actually building this mine. Bobby's not going to jail after all. So I'm eagerly anticipating that. And, you know, I'm
Rob,
happy to
it's
throw.
going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind how fast everything comes online. We've got everything teed up. We've had tremendous teammates with go from the real estate agents to the electricians, and we've got more on tap too. I'm working in Cleveland on a pad site right now, and so we're just trying to stay way ahead of the game, and you'll see everything hit all at once.
Yeah. Well, that's what it feels like. It feels like, you know, we're running around doing a bunch of stuff, making progress, little things here, little things there, and then it's going to pop. And I'm really excited for it to pop because, you know, we're selling the power, we're rewarding the power, we're buying the power, we're getting the power. I mean, how many ASICs did we buy last week? We bought, let me do a screen share. Let me see if I can find it here. You know, I think with my travel, I've fallen a little bit behind on sharing the real-time data on our purchases, and that's a bad thing. You know, that's one of those, like, watch my back, hold me accountable things. But here's the conversation with Bitmars. If you see my screen, September 23rd, getting pricing and buying 89 L9s from this last record-breaking week. You know, there's the total price for it with shipping. There's the payment address, and then there, of course, is the transaction hash for both of those payments. And we can look them both up. We can say, all right, show me what's going on here. Put in the transaction hash for payment number one. There's 400,000. Put in the transaction hash for payment number two. I mean, guys, this is what blockchain and crypto are all about. The most accountable money you've ever seen. There's 198, add 400 together with 198, and of course you get 598, which is the number. But, you know, a record-breaking week, these 89 units are going to have to get, oh, I've got an extra balance of $8,900. Due to typhoon, according to the latest notification from our government, everything stopped. That's funny, I never read that. Thursday, I'm so sorry, I can't arrange. So, you know, so we're doing it, we're buying it, setting typhoons aside, we're shipping them and receiving them, we're warehousing them, and eventually we're dropping them in the soup, and we're going to watch that chart on the website jump. And, you know, we're spending big money on it, and we're throwing more money at it, and I'm eagerly anticipating that moment when it all begins to come together and prove to you and to me and to our community of 30,000 miners that we've done not just the right thing, but also a good job with that cash that's been coming in at, you know, this amazing velocity. So,
you know, Rob, being on the inside and seeing what's actually
Bobby.
Bobby, I'm sorry. Bobby being on the inside and watching what's really happening, it's as exciting as it could be, and because we see what's truly happening, and we're in the middle of it, and it's getting ready to pop. We're going to go from 20 miles an hour to 150 miles an hour really, really quickly. So,
well, I'm glad that you're going to be able to keep pace and lead the way, because 89 L9s is almost half a BC40 container full of ASICs. You know, so what is it going to be next week? A full container, or 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now, a full container in a single week? So thanks for leading the way, man. Appreciate you
Amazing.
being here on our team.
Our pleasure. Very excited.
Anything else to add before I drop your pin? And
nope, we're in good shape. We're excited to see what happens next week.
Gaige, Tim, what's happening over there in your section of the restaurant?
Yeah. Let's talk about the $9.4 million in sales this week. And where did that come from, right?
9.8.
9.8. That's right. 9.84, not 9.48. That's my dyslexia showing right there. So yeah, so like with all the contests, the promotions that we have going on, right? That's what's really getting these people out there doing the work, bringing people on, sharing our story, you know, and filling the seats on the rocket ship. You know, we have the game over giveaway. That's just been crazy. If anybody's out there been watching that report and watching those numbers climb, Brig Hart is now not #1 anymore. We have 2 people that have passed him, which he was the holding the #1 spot for the longest time. Now we have Coach Dez leading the way at #1. He's got like 44,000 points on this contest. And then Joe Jaquaint is #2, right? Then there's Brig, me, Chip Stewart, #5. Nelson's right there.
Let's pause. Let's pause for a second. And talk about this because there's a couple things, a lot of things. First of all, this is the last week. This is it. And it's funny that this is the last week because we have yet to like really tell people about this promotion, this contest. It's like, well, how do I do it? And for me, I look at it and I go, well, look, the less information we give people, the less likely it is that people are going to find a way to game the competition and, you know, get a position here based on not really what we want, but what they need to do in order to get to the top of the list. And, you know, look, there's creative stuff. There's, you know, people, you know, getting real clever. There's going to be some nefarious stuff from time to time too. And we police it as best as we can. But it's the last week. And so I want to just give you guys, the 700 people that are tuned in on this call, a heads up. What we do is we take the people that you've referred in the qualifying period, which is week 72 to week 78. That's it. And we multiply those referrals by the points. Now, if somebody buys 1 seat, that's 1 point. If they buy 3 seats, that's 3 points. They buy 9, that actually counts as 9 points and 3 referrals because they get those 3 tracking centers. So we multiply those 2 numbers together. So 118 times 383, 118 times 383 should give us the number of points that the contribution is calculating. And again, contribution is not really the right word for that. It's kind of like total, you know, total qualifier or whatever you want to call it. But the point is that that's how you get to the top of the list. So congratulations to the people that are really working this thing. And what I want to point out is that, you know, number 1, 2, and 3 are pretty well solidified there. I think that there's definitely going to be some movement between Dez and Joe. But if you go down here to like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's anyone's game, you know, all the way down to 30. So a couple 9-packs could skew these numbers quite a bit. And so it's not over. We're in week 78. It's not the end today, but it is the end at the end of this week. And so we haven't made a really big deal about it. And I think that that's interesting because we're doing very, very well without overly promoting this, you know, this limited opportunity thing. And it speaks to what I'll talk about in a few minutes, which is, you know, the big difference between our events and other events in the crypto space, or our blockchain and other blockchains, or our, you know, value proposition and other value propositions. But anyway, so the game over giveaway is coming to a close. And at the end of week 78, we start to like work with the people that have qualified, get their particular desires and tastes. You know, do we have the car of their dreams? You know, hopefully the people that are in the top 10 are going to do some negotiating back and forth between them. Okay, you got seat number 2, or you got pick number 2. I got pick number 4. I'll give you $100 if you don't take my car. You know, like it's going to be really fun. Then we're going to reach out to our top 10, and we're going to make sure they have a first-class Formula One experience in Austin, right? So we'll put them up in a nice hotel. We will make sure that they've got great tickets to the Formula One race. And then we're going to bring them down to spend a couple of days with the fleet so that they can really experience it. Like, we don't want to be like, okay, you got 30 seconds to pick your car. Sit in it, man. Take it out for a test drive. Like, figure out if this is really something you want to see yourself behind the wheel of for the next year. Obviously, number one is going to walk away with the top prize, free and clear. But then 2 through 10 are going to get a 1-year lease, and we're going to give those people an individual path to keep that vehicle as well. That's not because we got some crummy vehicles that we don't want to see come back to us. In fact, these are the top of the line things. Like, it's a lot of fun and also a little frustrating, Rob, I'm sure for you as it is for me, picking these things out, knowing like that we're only going to get to see them and enjoy them for a couple of weeks before we have to send them off to new homes. And we're like, oh, why?
We have a Rolls Royce incoming. A Rolls Royce, and we have a Maybach, which
did I see the Maybach jumping in the parking lot?
It does. The Maybach like bounces if you want it to. So there's that. I think that might go to the top spot once everybody sees it doing that, right?
Once they see the jumpies.
Yes.
So that'll happen next. All of that'll happen once we figure out who the people are that won the competition. We'll reach out and we'll make sure that you are ready to have a great time with us in Austin at the Formula One event. But the real thing is not over until we get to the end of September, because you remember that we've committed to giving away one vehicle, one car, one lease for a year for every $1 million in sales for the month of September. And so far, we're now at $24.54 million in sales. And so, of course, we will give away 24.54 cars. My guess is we'll probably at least hit 30. That was my projection, if you remember. So that's a real exciting thing. So with 5-6 days left in the month, we could get that number up over 30 and then give away more vehicles. So we're still working on coming up with how it is that you can qualify for one of these vehicles. So we're having a lot of fun. The contest is coming to an end. I don't know what the competition is going to be next. I don't even think that that's what's driving our growth. The giveaways and the limited time offers are definitely incentives that push the sales numbers. But last week might have been due to the price taking off, putting us well ahead of our price target schedule. It could also just be the fact that we're starting to pop up over here in Asia and follow through on more of the things that we said we were going to do. I don't know. You got your guesses, I got mine.
There's a lot of factors for sure. But with that being said, if you're missing out on the car, if your name's not on the list, there's still plenty of opportunities out there. With the month of September promotion, every 1-2 free is 100 Texit Coin. When that promotion started, that was only a couple $100, $300. Today, that's 500 and that's over $500 bonus for every 1-2 free giveaway. So, there's a lot of opportunities out there. We're running multiple promotions right now. And then on top of that, I seen in one of the questions where somebody was asking about the 27 and the 54 packs, right? That's something that we haven't talked about a whole lot, but the 54 packs, when people buy 27 seats along with 27,000 in coins, when they sign up, you can earn a $3,000 USDC commission on that one sale. So if you're out there pushing that, there's more opportunities out there to get some of this cash, to get more Texit coins, to stack your bags, well before we get to $16. So it keeps an even level playing field out there for everybody. You're muted, Bobby. You got anything? Is that it?
I'm muted. Tim,
Yeah.
anything to add?
I was just sitting there as we're doing this meeting, and we're seeing more and more Texit Coin community coming in, grabbing their breakfast and everything. And, my message to you 700 people that are out there watching right now, I would say, just like we talked about earlier, that, it doesn't matter where you started, it matters where you end, right? And being able to, jump in and be a builder at any time now and get those extra 2 tracking centers to help you out for creating immediate passive income if you want to. Or if your goal is, hey, you want to come on one of these freedom trips with us, we're going to have plenty more of these trips available. But it's just really neat to be around like-minded people, right? And to be able to share the stories. And from this week that I've been here, just being able to share with people and hear their stories of what this has really impacted them and what it's done for them is just truly amazing. It really is. And so you probably have a story right now. You know, you're sitting there, you know, in your living room, or you're driving home from work, or you're doing whatever, and you have a story now that's already impacted you about what this project has done for you, right? And so, you know, I encourage you to just really dig in. Again, we talk about, you know, we only have so much time before we sell the last seat. It's what you get out of it, the time and effort that you put in right now, right? So just dig in, help participate. If you're needing help, maybe you're on this call and you're like, hey, this is my very first call. I don't know how to dig in. I don't know what it looks like to, you know, I don't know what I don't know, right? Then, you know, we're going to come up with some easier ways for you to help grow and participate too. But, you know, look at your Rangers, look at your upline. If you don't know who one of your Rangers are in your team, yeah, make sure that you start asking, figure out who that Ranger is. So that way you can start communicating with that person, and that person can help you get involved, right? And that's the key to success. We're all a community going for the same growth, right? For the same goal. And the goal is to build the mind. That's simple. That's all we're doing, is building the mind, selling the seats, right? So now you have an opportunity to be a part of that, right? One other thing I was going to share with you guys, for those of you that have used the TXC Limited website and the ACHs, you'll notice that the site has been temporarily paused. That's not, you know, I've had a few people say, hey, do we have some red flags going on, or accounts getting, you know, locked up and everything like that? The answer is no. The answer is I paused it. I needed a little bit of a catch-up time here. So just so those of you know, TXC Limited is a third-party site. It's not mine TXC.
Sales are gonna be off like 85% this week, thanks to the TXC Limited gateway dropping out. What happened?
Bobby
Stop.
says, no, don't stop.
We're failing.
No, I need to. So the deal is when we first started this, it was for our team. And then we started letting other teams use the service and everything else. And this thing just grew. So it got to a point to where we got overran. And, you know, now if you go and sign somebody up right now in the back office, everything's automated and you're in immediately, right? When you use the other site, TXC Limited, you fill out your ACH, we have to manually put all that information in. So we've got a couple girls that are putting this stuff in, and we're just getting behind. And not only that, then we have to hand enter in all these ACHs. So it just became, I mean, truthfully, right now, we're still over 300 people behind on charging folks. So if you've used the service and the money hasn't come out of your account, it will come out of your account. We're slowly getting caught up, but that's why we had to pause the ACH program for right now. So our goal is that we're going to get everything automated. We're going to get it back up in the system. And so then when we bring it back, then we won't have this downlog of people wondering, well, hey, why isn't the money come out of my account? Or why am I not on the tree yet? It'll all be automated and it'll be a good system. So anyway, I just wanted to set everybody's mind at ease. There was no problems. That was me pausing it just because we got so delayed here.
And one thing I want to add too, Tim kind of touched on it. You know, if you're new here, if this is like one of your first calls, if you're trying to figure out how to get started, how to dig in, if you want to get the most out of Texit Coin, the most important thing you can do is follow along these Tuesday night calls. And then also I host a Monday night call at 6 p.m. or Monday night sales call. You know, that's for everybody to take advantage of. And we break down, you know, what's working, what's not working, you know, strategies and different things. So everybody can, you know, help each other and try to find that success everybody else is having. So
Heard we got mock sales examples coming up, or are we going to do like bring your angriest?
Yeah, bring your biggest skeptic.
Prospect.
Let's go. Yeah, bring your prospects. Yeah, we're not going to do mock sales. We're going to do real live sales.
Live sales. Good.
Live experience. That's going to be the best we can do.
Yeah.
Best educating. So.
Well, thanks, guys. This is Tim's first full-time week. Joining us last week was his first full-time week. And so the quality of our team continues to grow, continues to skyrocket. You know, what we're doing over here is everything we can to continue to increase the likelihood of us successfully reaching our goal. And so we're not in a cash crunch. We're doing very well. We're putting money out on the street in intelligent places to continue to get our brand out there, while also not trying to overspend and get too big too fast. But one of the things that I think has been a positive contribution to last week's results is the team growing, not just administratively or on the sales side, but also from the Ranger support side. You know, if you take, you know, a Ranger that is overwhelmed with phone calls and takes 2 weeks to get back to somebody to help onboard them, you know, you're slowing things down. When you provide that Ranger with, what do we have now, 35 or 40 Ranger support personnel, you know, when you provide people with additional resources to take some of the load off their shoulders, they're able to do more. And so, you know, we've had a couple of weeks of training now. We've gotten the Ranger support people access to the back office. And so, you know, now we're just doing things better. And so, you know, the cash comes in, we allocate it for building the mine, paying commissions, promoting the coin, our liquidity reserves, but also some of that cash goes into overhead. And that's my job to take that money, invest it wisely in office space, in, you know, inventory and supplies. You know, how many people are still waiting for a package to come in the mail because we didn't have, you know, mission control manuals sufficiently stocked on the shelf. So all of these things come together and we do a better job managing ourselves to make it easier and more likely for us to grow. So it's hard to pinpoint exactly the one thing it is. I mean, I guess, Tim, we could all say that you joining us had a, you know, 35% impact on our sales growth just last week. Congratulations. If you want to take credit for that, go for it.
I
But it's
expect it to be a little bit higher, but that's okay.
And I know there's a young lady named Mary Ann that's got a picture of Tim on her wall looking for some payments. She's coming to get you, bro.
On the wall.
Again,
I was
Rob,
worried.
thank you for interjecting. I really appreciate all your effort.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Hey, just going to clear out a couple questions for you guys real quick, but they're asking how long do they think the ACH is paused? What was your answer on that?
My guess is it'll be back online in the next day or two. The back office team, the development team just got us the ability to start selling Texit Coin in the back office again. That was their latest priority, and now they're moving on to integrating that third-party ACH processing service that Tim and his friends have been very gracious to share with us,
Awesome.
along with our normal enrollment process, so that when somebody fills out the form, if they pick ACH, their data goes into our system right away. Once they complete that ACH form, then they flip over from pending to paid ACH, and then it's all automated from there, including the part that is creating a big backlog for Tim, which is getting the data over to his bank so that those ACHs can be processed. My guess is today or tomorrow, sometime very, very soon. When I say today, I mean Wednesday today, whatever today is.
Yeah, something.
I don't know what your today is, but my today is a morning. The day has just begun.
Thank you.
Rue, what else you got going on over there?
Man, like I said, the customer service team is firing on all cylinders. The coin production is doing great. We are running out of room over in Business Park, so we need to figure out. And I think
We really are.
power.
Did you see the angry gram from the management team?
No, what did they send?
They're like, not sure what happened over there, but you went from 1 or 2 cars back up to 10 cars. Can we talk about this?
No, I know it's been a problem in the past. So,
well, you know where we're not doing well right now, and where it's about to change. We're not doing well right now in web. You know, we brought on a new web girl, and it didn't work out, and we had to let her go. I let her go, because we're still on version 1.0 of the website. And this is funny because, you know, I look at this and I say, yeah, of course, we're a legit thing. And then I you know, forget to realize that we haven't really made any kind of improvement since day one. And someone sent me a link to this thing. Have I shared this with you guys yet? Alt nodes. Have we talked about alt nodes yet?
Mm.
So I got Chad sent me this the other day. Alt nodes video. Did you miss out on the gold rush? Only 1 million nodes will be available, blah blah blah. Yeah, it's basically a copy of our thing, right? So good for them. But I look at this and I'm like, man, everybody that looks at this is just gonna go scam. And then I look at our website and I'm like, you know, it's really not much better.
I
Why
think
would
ours
anyone
is
look at ours
good.
and come to some sort of conclusion that ours is legit and that one is a scam? And so that's what we wanted to change with WebGirl. And unfortunately that didn't happen. And I think that you know, she got stuck on some issues and you know, it ended up not working out well for her. But what I wanted to show you today is what my alternative is. And this is actually a really fun thing. I haven't clicked on this much yet, but back in the day, I used this website called 99 Designs. And basically what happens is you throw some cash out there and you offer a reward to potentially hundreds of designers to participate and create your new website. And so I just put this live a couple days ago. These are the submissions that we have so far. If you're an artist and you want to participate in the design possibility, you got 4 days left to throw your hat in the ring. I haven't given these guys any content yet. So really, these are just basic mock-ups. But what we're trying to find is a designer that can look at our message, look at our brand, and come up with something creative, and then we'll engage them to improve it. So we have this going right now, but then we're also falling behind on car designs. And so right now we've gotten one design back for the SL. I haven't looked at this. This is my first time looking at it yet so far, but same thing, right? So the world is full of very talented people. You know, if they don't know that we have a need for their work, they're not able to help. But 99 Designs is a website where we can go and connect with them and even connect with people that'll code the website and get it built and updated for us. So that's a really big thing because we've come so far, we've done so much, we've transcended that whole is it a scam question through the proof of work. And if we're not sharing that information, the mine updates, we're not sharing the community growth, we're not sharing the, you know, promotion and marketing money that we're spending, then it's really hard for people to evaluate what we're doing and come to that conclusion on their own. So most of that's being driven by a friend of a friend of a friend who's sharing that story, which is okay. But ultimately, we want that message to be communicated loud and clear directly from us, so that it's the right message, it's the most accurate and up-to-date message, and then it gives that each individual the ability to directly evaluate those questions that may exist in their mind before they sign up, so that we look better than something like the alt node program, which is probably in its early days of getting launched as well. So a little bad news there, a little setback, but we have setbacks from time to time and we work through. Everything else good on the home front?
Everything's going great. Building is not on fire. Lasers are shooting coins. You know, we've got coin production happening, managing supplies at the business park. But Jen's got her team rocking and rolling. The extra shifts are helping out. So things are going great. Things are going great. Marianne and I picked up a little bit extra slack on the finance this week, and everything was good there. So rest easy on the other side of the world, my friend.
Well, we've got 1 week down, 1 week to go. Today's our last day here in Hua Hin, and then we travel back to Bangkok for a couple days of hanging out in the city. And we really planned this trip, I think, exactly the right way because, you know, it's a little overwhelming when you go to the other side of the world. It's all new. Most Americans don't have a passport, so they're, you know, experiencing international travel the first time. And most people's international, you know, getting started trip is like Mexico, and it's like, you know, it's pretty easy to find your way around. When you go to the other side of the world, it's a bit of a culture shock. Different food, different money, different culture, different religion. The whole thing is different. And so when we landed, we hung out for the first couple of days in Bangkok just to assemble the group coming in from all over the world. Then we moved down here to this cozy little quiet beach town, which is Hua Hin. It's a great expat community, and now people are starting to rent motorbikes and go explore and check out temples and mountains and monkey forests and go on these excursions and do things. And so they're getting over jet lag and they're warming up. So today's our last day here, and then we go back to Bangkok, which of course is the big wild city. And then on the 26th, I guess, we've got our big event. Word on the street is we're up to 600 guests now at the Dusit Thani, which is like the Four Seasons of Thailand. And so we're doing all the right stuff. Now, I mentioned to you last week, we skipped out on Q&A and jumped over to the what did Bobby spend money on question. We're up to $520,000 now spent on Token 2049. Not only does that make us a top sponsor there, it also gives us all kinds of street cred with our friends across, crypto and the Asian community. Hopefully, we are moments away from going live on MEXC, which we really want to accomplish before we get to the 26th event here in Thailand, or the events coming up the 1st and 2nd in Singapore. So big steps forward out here in Asia, and exciting to share those results with you as we have them real time. What else is there to talk about? I got something I want to talk about. Are we done talking about everything else?
Yeah, go ahead. What's on your
All right,
mind?
here we go. So I want to draw your attention to the help desk section for TXC Basics. So if you go to texitcoin.org, you could start there, and you go to resources, mine TXC. So it's a little hard to find these things by design, maybe. But once you go to the mining site and then click on help, you get over to our help desk. So 1, 2, 3, 5 clicks later, you get over to the place where we're publishing all of our important information right now. And that's kind of goofy because a lot of it's Texit Coin information. Some of it's mining Texit Coin information, some of it's specific to mining or commissions or stuff like that. But everything right now is getting indexed here. And so as the website work comes together, we'll start putting these things in better and more appropriate places. But I want to bring your attention to this particular section, TXC Basics, because at the bottom of this page, I published 3 new articles in the last few days, and I want to talk about these articles. So let's go through them real quick, one by one. First and foremost is the path to 80 by February of 2026. Now, I don't have a specific schedule on here that matches things that we talk about in the path to 16. So the path to 16, we sketch out not just the ideology behind our growth, but specific metrics and targets. And of course, right now we're in September, our price target is $2.75. For better or worse, we're double that, and the month isn't over. And so we're really more like above and beyond our November target. And this is really interesting as well, because if you take a look at our profile page on CoinMarketCap, another major thing has happened, which is this. Wow, 2 major things have happened. This is really great. This is my first time seeing this, by the way. But forever and ever and ever, we only had Bitmart data here. And this is really interesting as well. Sorry, guys, I'm seeing this real time. Hold on, let me get my bearings here. So Dex Trade sent us a message last week, and they said, hey, your market is really maturing. Great job. And we'd like to tell you that we're going to open up the API and share your trade data with CoinMarketCap. And we've only been asking them to do this for like a year now, right? We went live on Dex Trade May 15th of last year. Ever since then, the answer's been absolutely not. Well, why not? Well, you have to blah, 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 blah. So we're past that now, and now our data is being shared with CoinMarketCap, which is really amazing. So So this happened last week. And here's what's funny about it. I'm just looking at this now. The liquidity score is a value between 0 and 1,000 that shows how kind of like believable your market is. Higher score indicates a more liquid market. And so the liquidity score on Dextrade is actually higher than the liquidity score on Bitmart. And that's a really powerful thing. We want this number to be, of course, 1,000. We want people to know that, they can take their TXC to the market and they can sell them anytime they want, and they can get a pretty good guess as to what they're going to get for it based on the size of the liquidity, the size and the breadth of the market. And so it's really cool to see that our liquidity score has gone up by virtue of them adding Dextrade to this market. And so what CoinMarketCap does now is it'll take both of these prices and average them together to get our market price. But this is something I just noticed as well. Uniswap and the TXC for USDC trade pair has also made it onto CoinMarketCap, which is really cool. And so, as you guys probably know and remember, we need 3 markets on CoinMarketCap to get a CoinMarketCap, to apply for a CoinMarketCap verified listing. And that is a really big deal because right now, as you can see, are we verified yet? No, we're not verified yet, but we're close. Oh man, are we close? Our market cap is 288 million. And once we get that verified listing, then we will get off of the pink sheets. We're at number 3939, but with a $288 million market cap, if we were listed correctly with a verified listing, we would be on CoinMarketCap page. We would be on page 2. We would be on page 2. What was our goal?
That's amazing.
Our goal was page 1, $1 billion value, February 2026. Oh man.
Awesome.
Sorry guys, let me have this moment here. Just let me have this.
Remember where you are.
No, look, I'm very proud of this project. I've worked very hard on this. I bet the farm on it. If you go back and you watch the earlier videos, you remember me talking about selling the property, going all in on this project. I want you guys to be careful with your money. I want you to make good decisions. I want you to not ever buy more than you're willing to put at risk. That's different for me. I go all in on everything I do. And to look at this project, almost 2 years in, and to say, now we did it, but it sure feels like we're close. That's a pretty amazing thing for me. So give me just a moment here. Collect my thoughts. But remember how we got here. We got here through trust. We got here through risk. We got here through the basics, and I'm proud of it, and I hope you are too. Anyway, having said all that, sorry, let me get back on track. So I scheduled out the path to 16, and of course we're well ahead of schedule, so go us. But I don't have the same type of stuff here when it comes to the path to 80. So the path to 80 isn't as metric driven as the path to 16 is. The path to 80 is really more of a formal in-writing evaluation of how silly it is to say that, hey, if we bring in the better part of $1 billion, we're going to be worth $1 billion. We have so much going for us, not just a momentum and goodwill and great relationships, but in terms of cash for promotion and marketing. We've got cash for liquidity. We're on big exchanges. So it's not like we're getting started when we get to that 16. So of course we're expecting to be worth way more than 16. Exactly what the numbers will be and when, I don't know, but I can tell you the why. And this article about the path to 80 talks about this spiral that we're on and how we've gotten past a couple of these really, really big kind of worry points. The big dump is behind us. Like we say, like when Lambo, but like when rug pull. When are all the guys that got in early going to like dump on the market and take all the cash and run? Well, why would they? That's our cash. It's our cash that we've crowdsourced and brought together through our hard work. And so, yeah, we've seen some guys, Josh, maybe Davey, cash out a couple bucks to close the deal on his home that he's been wanting to buy forever and ever. Go, good job, guys. We don't coordinate that, but we do encourage people to do it in an orderly fashion so that it doesn't scare and spook the market. So far, we've had to tap into zero of our official liquidity. Everything that's happened right now has happened just with basic market activity, which is really great. But I remember, and I'm sure you do, Rob, as well, that we took the whales pledge. The early adopters promised that we weren't going to sell any more than X number of coins, 62,500 coins, at $1, because we didn't want to crash the market. Well, $1 came and went, and then $2 came and went, and then $3 came and went, and then
I couldn't even get to my $4 coin before the market shot right past it.
And still here we are today with me going back to people and begging them for coins. And so, I think I don't know what all the risks are because I've never done this before, but looking at all the other projects that have done it before and evaluating where they stumbled, almost every single one of those things is behind us. And that's really cool because now it gives us kind of unbridled growth to the top, to the very, very, very top. And so, so why would we stop at 16? We wouldn't. Let's look at some of the historical things that have happened with other projects. EOS raised $4 billion and was a top 10 coin. So if we raised the better part of $1 billion, could we be a top 20 coin? And so we take a quick moment and look at what we've really got going for us. Proven leadership, a proven plan, millions, hundreds of millions in infrastructure, liquidity, and marketing. We talk about the cash that we'll have set aside for promotion and for liquidity, but we don't talk about the infrastructure, the hundreds of millions of dollars of infrastructure, whether that's code or that's mining equipment and immersion cooling hardware that has a huge value, the size of our community, our unmatched Texas origin story. 16 is proof of concept. 80 is really the recognition that we deserve. 16 proves that we're real. 80 proves that we belong at the top. And so I encourage you to take a look at this article because remember, every time somebody joins us on the rocket, they're starting that journey over. And the guys that are getting on today at $3, $4, $5, $6, they want to know that we're not stopping at 16. 16 is a little pit stop on the moon as we venture off to the very top of this industry. I know how we're going to get to the top of this industry, and we're not stopping at 80. And so I wrote another article that I want to share with you guys real quick, which is also in the same section, but it is phase 2 in the path to 800 by 2027. And this one's a much bigger mouthful. And of course, it requires more background and it requires more, justification, because when you start talking to people about being a top 10 crypto, they go, yeah, heard it before. Well, a lot of the things that we've done, people have heard before and we've pulled them off. And so, as we win more and more and more, it becomes more and more believable that we're serious, not just about getting to the top 100, but also getting to the top 10. That article paints that picture for you. But I want to just give you a little word of caution to remember what we're doing today. And today our goal is really, really simple. We're building a mine, okay? I want that to be really simple because it's very achievable. If I say, hey guys, we're going to the very top of the crypto industry, well, how are we going to get there? Lots of risks, all these things that we got to take into consideration along the way. Forget about all that today. Remember, today our goal is to build a mine. We're building that mine in Texas. The reason that goal is so important is because we can't do anything else. There's no layer 2, there's no phase 2, there's no phase 3 if we're not able to successfully do phase 1. Why? Is that because 1 comes before 2? Well, kinda, but it's more than that. What it really is the fact that without a strong, powerful, respectable, decentralized, redundant, fault-tolerant network, we can't build mission-critical applications on that network. The illustration that I always say is like, well, if we had a laptop that was sitting on the folding chair in my sister's basement and we asked the world, the crypto community, to build on top of that cryptocurrency, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't take it seriously. That chart, that first chart on the dashboard of our website that shows our hash power, is the chart that you guys are looking at to hold me accountable, and the world is looking at to decide whether or not we're big enough to be taken seriously. And that's really the importance of phase one. When those switches get flipped and those other mines get taken out of the warehouse and put into the soup, that's when those charts on the website come alive and the crypto industry goes, wow, they really did it. That's incredible. And that's so important, not just to prove what we're doing to the world, but because the world is not going to build on us. The city of McKinney is not going to trust us until they believe that our network is big enough, strong enough, reliable enough, decentralized enough, maintained well enough that they could build a mission critical application on there. And what application is more mission critical than currency? Once they believe that we've built the network to a point that's large enough to sustain the mission critical applications that we're asking them to run, only then and only then will they decide to build on top of us. Building on top of us, that's phase two. That's layer two. All right, that's the downtown digital dollars. That's everything else that comes with the ecosystem as well, that the world is going to put together as they decide for themselves on their own that they too want to build on top of the Made in America blockchain. The thing that we're doing is the money. So we're building the mine, we're maintaining the code, and we're coming up with our own layer two, which is the money. And we can't move on to the money part. We can't move on to the utility part. We can't move on to the real world application. We can't move on to the thing that gives us a real value unless and until the foundation is solid. And that's what phase one is. And that's why it's so important for us to not get caught up in phase two and phase three and phase four and phase 10, whatever those things are. Today, we have a simple goal and we're achieving it at a record pace. And we're on track to hit it in the time that we thought we were going to hit it. You know, not only doing it, but doing it on schedule. It's pretty incredible as well. But that's because we've got great people inside our team and with the amazing people that are joining us from the field. So you guys are doing it. We're holding it together. Together, this project works. But I want to begin to paint a picture of what's coming next. And what's coming next is what I call phase two, okay? This is what I'm actually good at. This is the part that I actually think I do well. Are you really good at network marketing? No, never done it before. Are you really good at like crypto project launching? No, never done it before. The part that I'm really good at is the alternative and complementary currencies. That's the thing that I testified about in US Congress all those years ago, 13 years, 1 month and 22 days ago to be exact. That's phase two. So the fact that I've been able to get phase one going so well, take my hat off to myself here. But phase two, for me, is the easy part. I can't wait to get started on phase two because this is the part that matters the most. We build the mine, we build the foundation, we build the infrastructure that allows us to do phase two, which scales, right? I've done community currencies before, I've done complementary currencies before, I've done fair and festival tokens before, but they didn't scale the way that I was doing them before. This scales. I can't light up 1 or 2 or 3 Renaissance festivals with crypto. I can light up all of them. We can make relationships with the Texas Downtown Association, with mainstreet.org, with the International Association of Fairs and Expos. We can build relationships now with the top groups in these categories and start at the top and get all of them on board almost at the same time. That is why this project matters so much, because it scales. That's what makes this so much better than everything I've done before, because it scales. The scaling happens in phase two. When we're successful in phase two, as we have been so far successful in phase one, that's how we go from 16 or 80 all the way up to the top of the industry. Not just because we've got a project that's proven, not just because we've got a mission that matters, but because we've got real world use. We're saving people money, we're cutting down costs, we've got advocates for us and city councils and chambers of commerce and fairs and festivals. Like, we've just got fans all over. You know, Bitcoin's got people that are riding the roller coaster from a speculative standpoint. We've got people that are going to use this because it makes their lives better every day. That's where the roots go deep. That's where they go wide and strong. And so, yeah, can you make some bucks with Bitcoin if you get in the roller coaster at the right time? Sure. But we can show people how to make money every day by using an alternative currency that saves them from having to deal with banks and financial institutions in something that they don't need banks and financial institutions to do. And so phase 2 paints that picture, okay? Promise to purpose. This is a big thing because the crypto community in general has scarcity as their core component that defines their value. For Texit Coin, it's the opposite. Our value comes from utility. Our value comes from usability. Our value comes from the cost savings that people get to experience when they use an alternative currency that doesn't get gatekept by the banks. And so this article is the first thing now that we've published that talks about what we do with this network of ours to climb our way all the way up to the very top 10. At 16, we prove that we're real. At 80, we prove that we're big. And at 800, we'll prove that we're right. And I want you to take a moment and try to begin to understand where this project is going next. Scarcity reaches a ceiling. Purpose compounds without limit. You know, we talk about the last seat on the rocket. Why would anyone want to buy the last seat on the rocket? They're only going to get 100 megahash, no bonuses, no commissions, no rewards, no extra power. It seems stupid. Why wouldn't they want the last seat on a rocket ship that's a proven project that knows exactly where it's going to go? But there's more than that after. There's much more than that. Even after the last seat on the rocket is full, even after that it's completely done and sold out, everybody on planet Earth can still win with honest money. Imagine a reality where some third party is no longer destroying the value of your savings through inflation. Who wins when that changes? Everyone wins when that's different. Everybody has the ability to benefit from honest money. It's not a benefit that stops when the last seat on the rocket is full. I know it's going to take a long time to explain that, to understand that. It's a difficult concept, but the point is that we will get to the very top of the industry, not because of selling seats on the rocket ship. We'll get there because our work is good, because the world will benefit from what we do, because it's important. And as we get higher up in these rankings, we're going to find more adversaries there. You know, the Bitcoin bros will push back because they don't want to find themselves unseated from number 1. But we're rewriting this thing. You know, little Texit Coin with a bunch of people who had no idea what they were doing with crypto and network marketing, you know, have a path that takes them to the very top because we are the ones that dusted off that Bitcoin utility, that diamond in the rough, the thing that was discarded by the other guys. We're the guys that said, you missed the point. The point isn't blockchain. The point is money. Oh, Bitcoin is money, but really what is the core of this technology is blockchain. No, money. The ability to take back control of money for the first time in hundreds of years. It's a big thing. So let's not get lost in that today. Let's remember today our goal is to still build the mine, build the foundation, build a rock solid base that we can build the layer 2. Phase 2 is actually getting communities and fairs and festivals. It sounds silly if you try to explain it to someone that's like, well, Bitcoin is billions of dollars and central banks, blah, 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 fairs and festivals. Nice try. You band those together and all of a sudden it's big. Now we've got a top 100 stable coin that's running on our layer 2. And so I want to put that information out there because I need you to know that this is just the beginning. We're not building a mine for fun. We're not building the mine to get rich. We're building it because we need the mine to run the mission critical application, which is money. And so as we get further along towards reaching our goal and filling that last seat on the rocket ship and seeing those switches get flipped and see the mine turn on, what's next? Well, there's a lot next. There's a lot. And there will be an article maybe published before the end of my time here in these massage chairs that talks about the path to 2,800. And that is also not a joke. That's phase 3. So there's a lot more coming in time. But I need you guys to understand that today our goal is phase one. Let's build the mine. Let's follow through on what nobody else has been able to do before us. Let's follow through on this thing that everyone's laughing at us about. Well, let's keep going. Let's be the top sponsors at these big events. Let's do the polo championships. Let's do the boxing tournaments. Let's get our name out there. Let's make sure that Texit Coin in America is a household name. I'll take it over with our friends the other side of the world so that they know to take us seriously as well. And then we'll work on phase two together. I don't have all the pieces figured out just yet. I don't know exactly how to give you an incentive to participate in building out phase two, but we'll figure that out. We got a lot of good, smart people now in our team and in our community. 30,000 plus miners. We're going to have a lot of good ideas. So we'll come up with ways to build out rewards and incentives so that you can participate in phase two. But for now, please, my friends, stay focused on phase one. We've got the target in sight. We know exactly how to get there. It's exciting. It's great. We're doing so well, and we're having a blast doing it. I'm having a great time. Paid out commissions yesterday. 1.35 million in USDC yesterday. Incredible. Thank you. Maybe this week will be bigger. Maybe next week will be bigger. I don't know. But the momentum, the velocity is incredible, and it's a lot of fun. I hope you guys are having a great time too. Robbie Roo, what's going on with you? Should we jump into some Q&A? We didn't do it last
if you want to
week.
grab a few of these, I've been working through them as we've been going.
Thank you very much. Let's see what we got on the Q&A list. Hello from Cape Coral, Florida. Blah, blah, blah. I hear there's a special email for shipping. Can I have that? No, you can go through the web form like McKaylin has told us is now required. The Bitcoin boy, as always, Bobby, your calls are absolutely brilliant. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Although I did meet a young lady on our trip that said that she absolutely refuses now or ever to bow down at the altar of Bobby Gray. She will not. I said, I like it. I like that sound. Let me hear some more of that. Yeah, guys, my head is getting a little bigger as we go. But I did give a speech on our first welcome dinner here, and I reminded people, please, the gratitude is very nice. It's very kind, but I couldn't have done this without you guys. This is a team effort. I'm just lucky enough to be the one that came up with the idea. Yeah, I'm going to make the most money on this deal as my reward for being the guy that put it all together. And the other great things that have happened, but it's our team that has made this thing really great. Got very less team in Asia. Asked me to email, you can go to my upline, and their upline is always they're too busy. Raphael around Florida. I don't know if I saw a question there in that Bitcoin boys. I've been involved. Got very less team. I believe if you go back about 6, I asked how to get out of a Texit Ranger. I asked how to get out of a Texit Ranger, and I've done everything. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry, Bitcoin boy. I'm not sure if I understand your question there. But see if you can rephrase. Stephanie, what does the Motor Enclave Fund start? When does the Motor Enclave start? When should we arrive? That's a really great question. I don't know. Is Angelo on the call? Angelo out there to answer that question? Angelo. I see an Angelo. Angelo can answer that question in just a moment if he decides to come back and join us as a panelist. Can TXC be transferred to a hard wallet like Trezor? No, but WTXC can be transferred over to a hard wallet. And it's pretty easy to swap. Go to wtxc.texitcoin.org and you can figure out how to swap that. Where are these articles that you recently wrote? We covered that. Who do you speak to about sponsorship? Your Ranger, Birdie from Uruguay. Ooh. Can you give us an update on when the 2 million in gold will be added to the liquidity pool? We've already allocated it now. I just haven't shown you pictures of it yet because we're buying it in Singapore. We'll be out there next week. So give us about a week to get to Singapore and you'll see that. Can someone help me find my TXC that was purchased when I bought the 54 pack? Sent funds last Tuesday night, was told it would get taken care of. Yeah, so look, we're really mismanaging the heck out of these 54 packs. If you bought a 54 pack and didn't get your coins yet, then reach out to us through the back office. I'm trying to work with enrollment, McKaylin and Landon, to see if we can manage the 54s better, but that's me messing that up right now. So I don't know, maybe send a message to me on Telegram or something if you bought a 54 and you're waiting. Bobby, you have mentioned that you might someday shut this down. What exactly does that mean? We've got 1 million seats on the rocket ship. How many have we sold so far? Any idea? We have sold a whopping.
Are we at 12% or are we still at 11? Let's
We're
see.
over
Oh, we're
12.1%.
12.1.
So we've sold 121,000, give or take, seats on the rocket. So we got 87+% to go. It's a lot of seats left, guys, but the velocity is increasing, and so we don't expect them to last forever. Shut it down means that the seats are sold out. It doesn't mean the project is in any way over. In fact, it's just the beginning. But filling the rocket, building the mine, we want to build the mine to a certain extent that it's big, reliable, trustworthy, but not so big that it's diminishing the output for the miners. That's Bitcoin. It's very hard to make a profit mining Bitcoin. It will always be easy to make a profit mining Texit Coin so long as Texit Coin continues to have a value. Hi, everyone. Would love to have a solution to receive the welcome pack in South Africa. Yeah, look, we don't have a great solution yet for sending welcome packs out internationally. It doesn't mean we don't like you. It does mean that we are focused on making sure that our friends in America are well taken care of. And then if you know somebody that's traveling from the US to South Africa, then have them grab a box and bring it along with them. I shared this opportunity with a friend and he responded with this. How would you respond? You're not buying these, are you? You're just mining them. Don't ever buy this. Just keep mining it. If you look at the market cap and volume, it's about 6 to 7 times larger than the current market cap. This means only 15% of the market supply is currently in circulation, but at least for a higher chance of everything being diluted, no big gains, no big raises, especially blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm not sure about the market data and how that would relate to whether it would be a better idea to mine it. I mean, if you don't like the market dynamics, then you shouldn't do either one of them. I think that, you should have a balanced approach to acquiring Texit Coin, whether that means you're mining them inexpensively, or you're buying them inexpensively, then ultimately the goal is to get your hands on Texit Coin, preferably cheap. But I'm not really sure what the market data looks like there. Remember today, like, I'll give you kind of an example, right? The example is that in a traditional coin launch, let's say you pre-mine 62,500,000 coins. And you say, okay, I need to distribute these now. So I'm going to pay my influencer buddies to promote it, and then I'm going to sell them. This is the reason we've struggled so much with the exchanges listing or releasing our market data to CoinMarketCap, because we don't do it the way that everybody else is doing it. They're doing it and they're saying, look, if you're going to sell these tokens out there on the market for $1, you need to be willing to buy them back for 99 cents. That makes sense. We're not doing it like that. All of the coins that we have are getting into circulation through mining, which means that we're not selling, which means we don't get the cash. Now, we do get the cash when people buy the mining seats. But my point to you is that we're doing this a different way. And so, we said that like March 2nd, 2025 was the end of our pre-launch, but really the pre-launch is building the mine. And so the question is like, okay, well, when will the mine be built and how many coins will you have and who's going to get those coins? So our distribution strategy says, here's the way that you can get your hands on the coins. Maybe you buy seeds or you build and acquire seeds, then you're going to get more coins. And then once the mine's built, we look around and we say, well, who's got coins? What we have is an extremely well fragmented distribution of the initial coins. Well, who got them? Not the people that bought the most, but the people that did the most to help us build. Okay, so now what? Well, now we get started. Now we take the coins to market, we trade, we use, we spend. Well, why would there be a market for them at all? Because people are going to need to acquire these coins to pay the transaction fees to spend the layer twos at fairs and festivals. Okay, but is that like billions and billions of dollars of value? I don't know. We'll find out. So point is that that our initial distribution strategy is done through the mining. But because the miners don't have a restriction on what they can do with them, the miners are taking those coins to the market and they're turning them back into cash. Okay, well, who's buying the coins off the market? I don't know. Lots of people are. People from America, people from Asia, people from Texas, people that are miners, people that aren't miners. There's a lot of trading activity. Now, And so as you put all those pieces together, you know, if you conclude that it's a good idea to mine, but not to buy, okay. If you conclude that it's a good idea to buy, but not to mine, okay. But the point is that the project is still in its infancy. Like we just mentioned a moment ago, we're 12%. And so whatever your strategy is, if you talk to somebody that doesn't like it, doesn't think it's a good idea, then who knows, they might be right. Joe says, if you people for the Phoenix event reach out to me, I can get people to work that event. Yeah, Joe, we're going to probably need some help out there. There's only so many of our friends from Dallas we can fit in the PJ. What is the company structure? Parent Texas Corp, LLC, sole proprietors, anything written that miners can document ownership mining shares? Good question, Bill. First of all, we call ourselves a voluntary association. Technically speaking, I guess you could say that Texit Coin is a sole prop, other than it's really not much more than an assumed name. As far as the mining ownership, we were working for a really long time on a really cool certificate that we haven't released yet, but it's still on the list to do, and that will be done. The problem is, how do you make it immutable? And what happens if somebody accidentally puts a sale in and then needs to change that later? Once you document that on somebody's certificate, and then you got to change it later, but you've already published it to the, you know, interplanetary file system, it's messy. Anyway, that's kind of why it's stalled. Dave says, I have someone wanting to add more mining ACP and they can't access the ACH. What is that about? I'm literally looking right now at the guy that does the ACH. He's giving me a funny look. Hang tight, Dave. We'll be back online with ACH in the very near future. Thanks for the patience. Mark says, as we add more horsepower to the mine. That's right. The number of coins mined nightly doesn't increase that much. No, it's not going to increase at all. Is the biggest benefit that we can mine more other cryptos? Well, that is a big benefit. Really, the benefit is that our network gets bigger and stronger, more reliable, but it does mean we'll take more of the other coins too. But it also means that our electric bill goes up. What is the handle on X? We are Texit Coins. Can you explain what happens when the mine turns on? Like, do we get more coins? No. The system is programmed to only make about 95,000 coins a day. That number should be 120,000, but it's not. So we're working through that. We'll see if it increases as we add more horsepower. Can you explain the halving again? No. This is a deflationary aspect of crypto where they say, okay, well, this thing's not going to run forever, but in order to stretch it out over a long period of time, the number of coins that comes out. Hey, there's Angelo. Angelo, I didn't see you there. You want to tell us about the Enclave event going down in November real quick?
Hey, buddy. How you doing? You feeling better today?
I'm feeling good so far.
All right.
I had some really bad food poisoning yesterday.
Oh,
the whole community
no.
was like, sell.
Well, we appreciate you, buddy. Yeah. So the Motor Enclave, November 8th. It's going to be an all-day event. We're still working on the details. We'll have an Eventbrite for everybody to register. We have room for about 1,200 people. We're excited about it. Everybody should be able to attend, as we had close to 250 people at the last event. And yeah, so put it on your calendar, get ready, come and you'll learn a lot, but bring a team and you'll earn a lot, guys. So I'll see you there.
When you say an all-day event, you're thinking like 12 to midnight, or you're thinking like 4 to 10?
I'm thinking probably, depending on, and there's a couple things we still have to work out, if we're gonna get the racetrack or not. We have to decide that, depending on entertainment. And then, but we have the whole facility. The whole facility is ours. It's going to be really cool. We got some surprises for everybody, and yeah, you don't want to miss it.
Cool. Okay, so details coming soon. Unfortunately, we don't have an exact timeline for that, but it will be on what date?
November 8th, locked in.
November 8th. There we go. Okay, so back to the halvings. Thanks, Angelo. Appreciate that. That's Texas Ranger Angelo right there. Here live and in person. Halving will happen about every 6 years. I think we're about a year and a half into that first halving period. So the reward will get decreased. Hopefully, we're seeing an increase in value like we see with the other proof of work coins that go through the similar halving schedules. Bobby, do you share the wallet address that you use to inject liquidity and buy coins on the open market? I don't know. So here's the deal with that. We share the wallet addresses of the coins where our major liquidity is stored. We haven't touched those yet. So if the answer to your question, or if we did use those for injecting liquidity, the answer to your question would be yes, and you can see those addresses. Because we haven't had to tap into that liquidity yet, and the market's well above where we want it to be, we don't have it. I've got exchange accounts that I share screenshots of from time to time showing what our market involvement is, but I don't know what those wallet addresses that are connected to it because they're all managed by the exchanges. And so I think the answer to your question is officially no, but let me show you something you can see. You can see, let me share my screen. Not sure if this is a good idea. Usually sharing my screen is not a good idea. Let me see if I can jump over to here, to here. So here is my list of wallets. Here is the wallet where the money goes when Texit Coin is purchased through the back office. So right now there's $474,000 of crypto that is accumulated on the wallet where
I think we're still
USD
seeing the dashboard.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's ridiculous. Why is that? Maybe it's a good thing. So this is the wallet where the cash ends up when you do a purchase of TXC in the back office, and you can track that yourself. So there's $474,000 in there. What I'll do from time to time is I'll take the liquidity from here, and it doesn't happen often, but I'll take the liquidity from here and I will send it to an exchange if we need more liquidity on the exchange, right? And what that means is if we go into like DexTrade, for example, you can see that I've put cash on here in order to allow the API from the back office to execute trades that we needed to do, right? So the process now is you go into your back office, you buy TXC, and it will place a real-time order here. Where's my order history? There you go, order history. So this is kind of fun, guys. Check this out, right? So let me go. Can you still see my screen?
We're on the dashboard.
Okay. So just to show you a quick example, somebody bought 56.47. I don't know if this is dollars or this is TXC. Let's see if we can figure that out. They paid. So they sent 10. I don't know. Okay, so they bought 10 TXC, okay, in this trade that happened looks like 20 minutes ago, right? So
yeah,
this trade happened 20 minutes ago. They bought 10 TXC. Let's go back over to the other screen and see if we can find this order for 10 TXC. There it is right there, right? Can you see that on DexTrade?
Yes, sir.
So let's go back and look at the next one. Here is 1,000. I guess this is dollars. Let's view it. They bought 177.52. There it is, right? So that's what's happening now. And this is really exciting because it means we're not selling out of our own inventories anymore. We're buying it real time off the open market, right? And so that's where the cash comes from. So what I was trying to show you there, because I forgot, what I was trying to show you there is that what we do then is this cash, you can see, here is their payment receipt of them paying us. So we take this receipt and you can see, oh, that's not it. You can take this receipt. Oh man, are you not working? Do they pay us in some other crypto? Okay. I don't know. It doesn't tell us exactly what crypto they used. Let's go to block scan. Oh, I did it again. Nope. Maybe I didn't do it again. Okay, hold on. Am I human? Yes or no?
It's debatable. It's part robot.
He's more like a robot. I don't know. I don't know what what I'm looking at here. I'm trying to show you something and I don't know how to show you. Paid 0x92. So are we looking at the same thing? No, we're not looking at the same thing. Can you stop pasting this whole thing? I just want this part. Okay. Got it. Okay, there you go. So there's $56.47 USDC. Did it happen on base? Is this a base? Yeah. Okay, so that's why I wasn't able to find it. Okay, so they paid it to this 0x blah, blah, blah. And then we moved it out of there to here. Batch transfer here. I don't know. See, I don't like this website. I like this website. Okay, so if we look at it here, and it may not have moved out yet, but there's the money and it's gone to this address. Okay. And then we can filter it by that address and see that we received the $56.47. So it's still there. Okay. But eventually it'll get moved out from there to that address that I showed you just a moment ago. And then what we do is we move that money back over here to DexTrade so that we've got cash on DexTrade to buy the coins that we sold in the back office. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Make sense? Okay. So there's, you know, the 200 grand we've got sitting on DexTrade so that we can continue to buy the coins that we've sold through the back office. I'm really happy about that because I don't want to sell out of my inventories anymore. I don't have enough coins as it is. I don't want to sell them at whatever the market prices are. I need to go find 400,000 coins at this point to take care of my foot in the mouth September promotion, which is have a 1, 2, 3, get 100 TXC, as you may recall. Oops. Anyway, so no, you cannot see the wallet. That was a very long answer to a very easy question. I just informed a miner in the very Victoria near Port Mansfield, blah, blah, blah. He hopes our stuff is hurricane proof. Victoria is not too hurricane prone, but it should be okay. Are these Tuesday Zoom calls to be put in Zoom calls? There are no September calls in there? Really? AJ. Supposed to do that, but I'm bringing somebody else new on that's going to help with all that stuff. Well, can we get the recording from Monique Gaige? You can. I just have to track it down. I want to buy extra months with my Roth IRA, which is an LLC. Yeah, if you got a checkbook LLC, you can certainly do that. Can we get a letter from Texit saying this is passive income and not active income? Maybe. You're going to have to draft it for us, and we can put it on some fancy letterhead. If someone I sponsored with 1 seat upgrades to a 9-pack plus 2, do I still get extra hash because of the 9? Yes, you do. Well, maybe, maybe not. You'll get credit for 2 additional sponsorships. If that hits your next 1, 2 free, then you're good to go. Is there any way we could get a firm 2nd and 3rd place winner for the coin design contest? I feel like it's been forgotten. It has been forgotten. Rue, can you make a note of figuring out who won the coin design contest? And we got to get the art going for that, whoever the winner is or was or will be. How will you pay employees once the mine is filled? We got a lot more coming on phase 2 and phase 3. But worst case scenario is we might have to liquidate some coins. What's the gold and silver program? Will you touch on that today? I don't know what a gold and silver program are, but they sound awesome. I've never heard of a 24 or 26 pack. How do you do that? It's a 27. We call it a backdoor 27. Judge Quinn says, are we still doing miner of the week? We sure are. Any idea who was miner of the week last week? We hit 1, 2 free in about 10 days. Another 1, 2 free again. Both were in September. Do we qualify for 100 TXC or both? Yes, you do. And good question. What is the hash power increase if we get TXC tattoo? I don't remember. Jerry says, I want to buy extra mines with my Roth. I think we went over that. Have you considered a shared script for the miners to enroll? I'm not sure what that means, Terry. Got an email since last week. My Texit Coin was supposed to be delivered on the 21st, but I still haven't received it. Is there any way to get an update? I don't know. Who did you get that email from? It's UPS. You may want to check with them. This is your reference to the 54 pack. How do I nominate someone for Ranger? I'm super excited about the path to 80. I'm not skipping over questions because I don't know the answer. I think the answer is I don't know if I don't give you an answer. We don't really have a formal Ranger nomination process right now. Tim is coming on board and going to round up all the Rangers and get that program rocking. So keep an eye out for more information coming soon regarding how to get to Ranger status. Dean is super excited about the path to 80. Do we have an updated liquidity chart? No, we're not going to do new benchmarks. We're going to stick with the look you in the eye number and show you how we're going to get 16. If the market takes us from there, then that's up to them on their schedule. As we're already seeing that we're ahead of schedule today, I think that that will continue to exponentially grow as well. But I can't put that in writing because it's not up to me. It's up to the market. For the ECH, y'all should look into Zapier. Zapier is really just middleware. We do get info on Ultraman trading. Where do I get info on Ultraman trading? I don't know what Ultraman is. Would be cool. Oh, is that the scam?
I don't know. I was just looking it up online to try and figure out what it was.
Yeah. Apparently there are a bunch of Bobby Grays running around on Telegram inviting people to jump into some scam. Guys, unfortunately, that is not me. In fact, Rob, let's make an article on how to lock down your Telegram account so that people cannot add you automatically to new groups, and so that you can't get messages from people outside of your contact list without permission. We really need to make a video on that and get it into the welcome email so that people can get their Telegram accounts to be less scammy. That is not me, guys. Ultraman is not me. Please, please, please report that group and get out. Would be cool if we can sell some TXC in the back office. Yeah, but defeats our purpose a little bit. We're trying to teach you guys how to get into these exchanges. Look, one of the things that's cool about crypto is it changes the money dynamic, right? What happens is you're born and your parents are like, here's your dollar from the tooth fairy. And all of a sudden you're in a system that you're born into, which is US dollars. And that's how it's been forever and ever and ever. Then all of a sudden you go, hey, what's this crypto thing? What if I want to bank in Bitcoin? Can I like store my money in Bitcoin? Sure. Well, how do I buy groceries? Oh, you can't. Okay, well, now we're at the point where like you can buy groceries with Bitcoin. Cool. But what's happened now with all these exchanges and with DeFi exchanges, you can like go from Bitcoin to Ethereum to Litecoin to Monero to this coin to that coin to this coin, like so fast. Now you've got a portfolio of hundreds, thousands, millions of coins and places where you can store your value. And so I want you to get comfortable with that process, because that's how we begin to start thinking about value and wealth and savings outside of the dollar. You know, right now it's like, hey, quick question. What's an ounce of gold worth? Well, it's worth $3,500. Wrong answer. An ounce of gold is worth an ounce of gold. Oh, I get it. Kind of. Okay, well, what's Bitcoin worth? One Bitcoin is worth one Bitcoin. Well, what is Bitcoin worth in terms of an ounce of gold? Well, one Bitcoin is worth like 40 ounces of gold or 30 ounces of gold, whatever the number is. So as this menu of currencies grows, we have more ways of thinking about money and value. If you're always just trying to flip your TXC back into dollars, you're missing the major point of our project, which is to get an alternative currency going. We can't get an alternative currency going so long as everyone's hooked on thinking about currency in terms of dollars. The gateway to expanding the way of thinking is by beginning to look at a menu of currencies, a menu of options. So as you're getting out to these exchanges and you're becoming comfortable turning Texit Coin into USDT or USDC or something else, then you're starting to put the opening wedge into that discussion. And so that's a really important thing. So we want to make it as easy for you to like get your coins from the mine, but we don't really want to make it too easy for you to turn them into dollars. If we wanted to do that, we would just pay you from the mine in dollars, which would completely defeat the purpose. Would be cool. No. Is there a forum with current job openings? I would love to be part of the team. Well, rule number one for job openings is that we really need people to be in the DFW McKinney area. If you're in the DFW McKinney area, reach out to somebody in DFW McKinney area like Rob. You are our CEO doing a fantastic job. Who is your VP or successor? I got Tim Blake. I got Robbie Rue. Those are kind of my top two guys at this point right now. I got Gaige as well, not to be forgotten. Gaige is walking around with a baby right now. We've got, I don't know, 45 people now in-house. My wife is pretty cool. But no, our whole challenge is to build this thing to the point where I can retire someday. We're not there yet. So let's hope that the food poisoning does not rear its ugly head.
That's
How do I know what team I'm on? We're going to figure that out soon and get it to you in your back office. Are you looking for a web portal developer? No, we're looking for a front end developer. I would like to help you with your web projects and production. Okay. Send me the link for my developer. I don't know what that means. Hire a pro web design company like Digital Silk. Also, this is James from Success Systems. You can contact me here. You're way past getting, you need a super professional team experience. Not really. How do I find rangers in my upline? Good question. We'll figure that out soon. Chris says, are there hotel rooms blocked? What are the local times and events for that weekend? Chris, we're working on hotels now. It's kind of pricey with the Formula One there. But we'll have more information on that as soon as we get through week 78. Tell us what happens on the 26th, I think it is. I heard about an Asian, and it's not investors, to buy Texit Coin. No, this is our like Trade with All Summit, right? Where we're just over here to introduce ourselves to the community of friends in Thailand and introduce our Texit Coin miners to our friends here as well. So that's the event on the 26th at the Dusit Thani. It's not our event. Is the 200 hash bonus for every 3? Well, it kind of is. It's the fast start bonus, so you have to keep it going every 30 days. Otherwise, it drops down to a $100 bonus. Jim says he loves this. How is MEXC going? I think we're close on MEXC. I think it's ready to go live. We just did the test transaction today, so we're very, very close there. And that will be listed on CoinMarketCap as well. And then our verified listing is coming soon. How much liquidity is there now? Well, we've got 5 mil in liquidity. We're getting ready to add the next 5 mil. That's in addition to everything that's actually on the market right now. Where's the link for the Monday Night Call? Normally we share it in the sales chat or the rebuts and objections chat. I don't think I shared yesterday's. Started mining 823. I got funds clear from my 3 people to sign up. Do I get the 2 hash if I get them in today? Do I get 2 hash? Yeah, if you're within, ooh, you're close. You're right there. Yeah, we'll hook you up. Little flexibility there on your frozen funds. I love this explanation of phase 1. I'm so excited to be a part of this. Thank you, Bobby. You're welcome, Catherine. So true. Phase 1 is number 1. Yeah, guys, stay focused, right? Between the private jets and the Lambos and the giveaways and the travel, it's easy to lose sight of what we're doing. We're building an honest money system. In order for it to work, we need to have the foundation well established. That's not just the mind, that's also the community. In support on bottom right of the dashboard, there is a direct link to place new miners. There is a placement area, but it looks like it is used to correct placement is in error, but it looks like it is used. I'm not sure what it's for, to be honest. Sorry. I hope that the mining containers are protected from floods, vandals. Yeah, we're setting up fences and cameras, but fingers crossed on that. Bitcoin does not in any way have the leverage that your coin has. Not even close. Our coin, James, our coin, our coin. Has Bobby met and tried to do a deal with the Trump bros yet? They should love us. No, not on the list of things to do. How will the constant price fluctuation affect the transactions when retailers are set up to accept crypto as payment? It won't. It's a layer 2. Anything that's going to be money has to have a stable value. Now, linking it to the dying dollar is not the best idea we ever have, but we need some transition time. So the TXC is not the currency for the layer 2s that are rolled out through the Downtown Digital. People can use TXC as a currency, but that is not what the basis of our foundation currency will be for the Downtown Digital dollars. Catherine, back with more compliments. I'm incredible. Thank you, Catherine. Very kind words. Stella says 1-2 free promotion for September. If you do it twice, you do get 200 TXC. When might CMC update TXC to page 2? It is a big deal. It is a big deal, and it's coming very soon. Is it true that we can pay for our seats? Where did that go?
It was a question about PayPal, and you can use PYUSD.
That's right.
To buy seats.
So important are those rewards and incentives for the future. Planning ahead is very necessary to make these things great. Phases both obtainable and desirable. Yeah, guys, look. Right now, we're building a community of core support. And that is not an earthquake. That is me taking my arm off the table. But our goal, once phase 1 is done, like a goal, is on board the next 100 million people into crypto. Right? That's why this education thing is so important, because if we can get people to become comfortable with crypto, the crypto conversation, we got more fans. I was talking to somebody yesterday that said, like, hey, I want to do a call with you. You want to talk about TexitCoin or you want to talk about crypto? Crypto. Why? Because if you learn about crypto and you research which one's the best, you will come to your own conclusion that TexitCoin's the best. If you decide that on your own, as opposed to me telling you, your level of confidence and the answer that you find is much higher than if I told it to you myself. And so what we want to do is we want to teach the next 100 million people about crypto and how exciting it is to have a bank in your pocket. And we can use all these high-tech, easy tools to do business with each other. We don't need the banks involved in the crypto, in the currency conversation anymore. That's kind of the big illusion that we've been just born into. We can take the banks are fine. Banks are fine. They do a great job storing the money. They lend it out. They make loans. They pay interest. Great. Let the banks do the banking stuff. But we don't need the banks involved in the currency conversation. We can do that ourselves now, thanks to crypto. The magic of Satoshi's Bitcoin is that they decentralized it, eliminated that central authority, and made it trustworthy. Bitcoin's been unhacked. You can't make a fake counterfeit Bitcoin. It's perfect. We don't need the banks to participate in Bitcoin. That's what makes it great. So the banks can do the banking thing and we can do the currency thing ourselves, first time. And so we want to teach the next 100 million people about that. And if we teach them, we educate them, they will come to the conclusion that there are many options that they can get involved with. Texit Coin is probably one of the best, if not the best. Texit Coin starts with 4 Texans by Texans. I'm new. Does this have to do with Texas? Yeah, we're building the mine in Texas, but it's for everybody. Remember, like we said at the beginning of the call, everyone can benefit from honest money. How do we find out who our Texas Ranger is? Guys, all that stuff is coming really, really, really soon. Wherever we can get recording, I will post it in the chat group. Well, it's a 54 package. That is a backdoor 27 with $27,000 worth of TXC on top. How do I find out? Okay. Does each facility you build have sufficient security inside and out? No, we're still going to have to worry about security. I don't think you can ever have sufficient security to never worry. But that is certainly something that we want to do by building those things in areas where they're not likely to be vandalized. Stella, we want to free promotion for September is twice. Yes. Do we know someone traveling to South Africa? I don't know. Bobby, I was stupid enough to buy several handfuls of BTC in 2018. What's wrong with that? That sounds like the right time. Especially 2018 when it dropped from 20 grand all the way down to 3 grand. I still hold the majority of it today. Good job. I really snubbed my nose at this opportunity when it was presented to me. A week later, I have 39 seats. Wow, I get it. And as I get dialed in, I plan sharing it with others. That's the idea, guys. Remember,
it's awesome.
Discover us, dip a toe in the water. Don't get involved with anything that makes you uncomfortable, but try it out and then tune in. Come to the conclusion that we're not a scam. Identify the dots. The larger the mine, the more valuable the currency. That's how it works with almost every proof of work coin. The bigger the mine gets, the more reliable and trustworthy the network is. Therefore, the more valuable the coin is. Those are our dots. And if you say, oh, if we make the mine big, the coin will be valuable. Yes. Help us connect those dots. How? By introducing us to other people. We'll give you rewards and incentives if you do that. The people that have the most mining power are the people that have done the most to help us build and get to where we are today. But if you're under-convinced or unconvinced, then keep quiet. The last thing you want to do is bringing your friends, family, colleagues to some sort of slimy, shady thing that you don't believe in. Once you understand what we're doing, that confidence that you acquire from the knowledge that you've gotten is going to come through loud and clear. So we don't want you to do anything that you're uncomfortable with, and we don't want you to share our story unless you have vetted it to the point where you're comfortable sharing it with other people. Tommy says, I know you have answered before, but explain again, not even please, just like a command, how you respond to fraud accusation because of discrepancy of hash sold and hash produced. Well, I don't think it's a fraud accusation. I think what we have to explain to people is that there are many steps in building the mine. The first step is we sell it. The second step is we buy it. The third step is we pay for it. Fourth step is it ships. The fifth step is we get it. Right? Then we warehouse it. Then we have to plug it in and set it up. So there's many steps involved in this process, right? Now, if this goes on forever and ever, you're absolutely right. It's a fraud and I'm going to go to jail. So it can't go on forever. But there are steps involved. And if you tune in a little while ago, you heard from Ron and Eddie's out there as well. We have 2 guys working parallel and building out the mine. We're a couple days away from flipping the switch and turning on the Victoria mine. That's a big step forward. So to the people that are accusing it of being a fraud, say, just wait. Everything else that they've said they were going to do, they have done. We got to build the mine. We've got some catching up to do. 12% of the hash power sold or earned, 12% of the hash power sooner or later needs to be running. But we will always be behind schedule. Why? Because the day that I get 12% set up, you guys will go and double it. And I'll go, oh, all right. I guess this order is going to be for another 500 ASICs. It's going to take time for us to build the infrastructure. We only have that time and the patience afforded by you so long as you're relatively convinced that we're going to do the right thing. Once that sentiment changes, this thing goes. That's why I show up every week with pictures and proof and receipts and screenshots and all that stuff. So how can you really address that? You say, look, there's a process. He shares the information with us along the way. You know, we're not doing as much as like I would like with pictures of UPS delivering 89 ASICs, but we'll get better at that. Kudos for your vision. There's my man Pierre back there. Hello, Pierre back there. Kudos for your vision from the article path to 80. What specific milestones like adoption, partnerships, or transaction growth do you think realistically will take 16 to 80? Well, look, the biggest answer to that question is engagement from our friends in Asia. Okay. People say, when Coinbase? I don't really actually care about getting on Coinbase. First of all, I don't particularly like them. They've frozen my account enough times and other accounts that I'm not like bowing down to the guys that keep freezing our accounts. We want to get onto exchanges that put our product in front of our friends in Asia. Why? It's where a lot of money is. They love our story. They love gambling. They love crypto. 60% of the crypto trading is already in Asia. And so by getting onto MEXC or Binance or KuCoin or Bybit, those are Asian exchanges. That's where we really want to promote our coin. And so the partnerships and relationships and adoption are really going to come from our friends in Asia. This is our first step moving in that direction. It's not our last step. It's not our only step. It's our first introduction. We spent probably $500,000 to $750,000 getting our team out here to share our message, and it's going well. We spent an extra $520,000 to be a platinum sponsor at the event in Singapore, which is the biggest event in the world, in Singapore, in Asia. And so the answer to your question, Alex, is that we will get there through engaging our friends in the Asian market where there's a lot of money and a lot of speculative interest on new and upcoming projects. ETA for when the home miners will be back online? No, I know that the mining pool software is done. I just haven't tested it yet. Maybe I'll get around to that today. Jerry says, I want to buy extra mines with my Roth IRA. I think we talked about that. Promo payments for September will happen before, well, probably do them all at one time, just after the clock rolls over into October. It can be changed. Trust function communications. I've spoken, studied, and written on this topic for nearly 21 years. I like what I see so far. Glad to hear that, Leslie. I would be happy to discuss if you want. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I purchased TXC back in August and the status is still sent. What does that mean? I just received my cold wallet and the mine purchase or well, what are you advised? I'm not sure what you mean, Antonio, by you purchased TXC and the status says sent. Reach out to the support team if you've got specifics on that. That was me. I used USDT. Okay. One with 100 early October. Let's say that. Can we have an official Texit song community voting contest? I don't know, man. We got some good songs now. I like them all.
That's near and dear to my heart. You know which one I like.
It does
So
grow
good.
on you. 2 spots. I
It's
received my
so
2 coins
good.
last week with no brochures. My brochures came today with another coin. Please explain the extra coin. Does your extra coin have Ethereum on it? If so, that is your commission wallet. After the update, will the ACH payments be integrated into our current affiliate site? Yes. How will miners benefit from downtown dollars? Miners benefit from downtown dollars. I don't know. A couple answers to that question. My neck hurts. Answer number 1 is, oh man, we're over 2 hours on this call. Wow. So the easy answer to that question is transaction fees. Anytime there's network activity taking place, you got to pay for that activity, right? The payments are very, very, very small, and they're always going to be very small. Now, Bitcoin is very cheap to use in the early days of Bitcoin, but that changed when the Bitcoin value went up and they didn't grow with it. So we're going to grow with it. So there's never going to be a lot of incentive from transaction fees. What the miners will probably benefit the most from is the appreciation of TXC's value based on its usability and utility in the marketplace, right? So the underlying core network becomes more valuable, the underlying TXC becomes more valuable that's paid out to those miners because more and more people are using it. Just like we see with Ethereum. The more it gets used, the more valuable that underlying asset is, not just for the gas fee, but for just overall confidence in the mission of that project. So that's probably the best answer to that question for now. Ben says, "Hi Bobby, thanks for all you do. When someone hit 1 2 free, yes, 100 TXC. How we get? We'll send it out to whatever your default wallet is. If we choose to take the hash instead of USDC for commissions, do we get 200 hash? Yes, you do. If you need a front-end developer and web infrastructure, feel free to contact me. Thanks, James. Reach out to help@mindtxc.com to have your contact info. Are you associated with the Texit All-Stars? Don't know what that is. I like the handlebar stash. Yes, it's probably not going to be here for long. Down to our last couple questions. I'm in Canada. Will Code Wallet be available here eventually? To anyone overseas? We send them out from time to time. We've had a really great person come down from Canada to collect Canadian coins. Maybe that'll happen again. Would we be on crypto.com at some point? Maybe, not sure. Sent to the cold wallet. That's it. 2 hours and 10 minutes later, we have completed a Tuesday night call. Guys, I'm here. I wish you were here as well. In beautiful Hua Hin, Thailand, enjoying a delicious breakfast overlooking the beach. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for being a part of this community. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for paying attention. If you guys are engaged and you understand what we're doing and you understand the places that we've been and the places we have yet to go, then you'll be able to easily share our story with other people, which of course is how we get there. It's been a lot of fun for me. Hopefully it's been just as much fun for you. And I will join you guys again. Who's doing the call on Thursday night?
I think we've got Thomas Dubois.
Is it
on
Thomas?
Thursday night.
That's the Ranger Thomas Dubois. Thanks, Thomas. I really appreciate
Yeah.
that. All right. Well, you guys have a great day. I've got work to do over here. And as always, thank you again. I'm Bobby Graham, the founder and the fearless leader of TexitCoin, and I will join you guys again soon. Have a great day. Night. See you guys.